Example 1, use an identity to find the exact value of cosine of 60 minus 45. Now, first off, 60 minus 45 is 15. And if we look for cosine of 15 on our sheet of all of our exact values, so cosine of 30, 45, and so on, you'll notice 15 is not on the sheet. All right? And it's not supposed to be, because I didn't have enough room to fit all the angles in there. So, but we have the ability to use what we know in order to find exact values of things we don't know, as long as we have the ability to take two things we do know and add or subtract them to make it. For example, if I was trying to do 75, 30 plus 45 is 75, and 30 and 45 are numbers I know. So if you take angles you know and you're able to create the angle you're looking for out of those angles, you're good to go. When it says exact value, it's looking for a square root structure. It's not looking for a decimal approximation. And where I'm going for these is numbers 32, 33, and 34 on your sheet. 32 says the sine of x plus or minus y is equal to sine of x cosine of y plus or minus sine of y, or it probably says cosine. It probably says cosine of x sine of y. It doesn't matter what order they're in. Cosine of x sine of y. I couldn't remember if it's sine first or cosine. Anyway, but sine of x cosine of y plus or minus cosine of x sine of y. So x and y are the two angles. And notice the plus minus, when they're the same, that means the same sign. So if plus minus here is plus minus here, same sign. We're going to do 33, which is cosine of x plus y, x plus or minus y. That's going to be cosine of both angles. And then it's minus plus sine of both angles. All right? So the minus plus means whatever sign's over here, you use the opposite sign over here. And then the 34 is tangent of x plus y, or tangent of x plus or minus y. That's tangent of x plus or minus tangent of y on top over 1, and then minus plus tangent of x times tangent of y on the bottom. Okay. You're not required to memorize this sheet, but having used it as much as I use it, I've got a lot of these things memorized. You'll find that you get a lot of them memorized too as you do it. The more you do it, the more you get memorized. I'm not as concerned about you memorizing the sheet as being familiar with it enough to know what things look like. So know that these types of structures are there and know kind of where to look to find them, because I'll let you use the sheet during the test and everything. So familiarize with the sheet to the extent that you know where things are at and kind of certain structures that show up. What I want you to notice about these things here is I'm trying to evaluate the cosine of something minus something, which this deals with that structure, right? Cosine of something minus something else. And it tells me to do that, I'm going to do cosine of both angles plus the sine of both angles to get that answer. So to evaluate cosine of 60 minus 45, I'm going to do cosine of 60 degrees times cosine of 45 degrees. Then it's minus in the problem, and this tells me to change the sign, so it's a plus in this, so it's going to be sine of 60 degrees times the sine of 45 degrees. Then, again, I can refer back to my sheet if I haven't already memorized it. By the way, I'm going to, before we're done with Chapter 6, give you that sine cosine memorization quiz, so if you haven't been doing this, you need to be. But sine cosine of all the angles between 0 and 360, 30, 60, 90, and so on, every multiple of 30 and every multiple of 45. But the cosine of 60 is 1/2. The cosine of 45 is the square root of 2 over 2. The sine of 60 is the square root of 3 over 2. And the sine of 45 is the square root of 2 over 2. So again, each of those has an exact value that we either already have memorized and know, or that we're going to shortly, but we have the ability to look up on the sheet. Then I want to make it into one simple fraction. So square root of 2 over 4 plus the square root of 6 over 4. Common denominator's there, so it's just a matter of putting the top parts together. So the exact value of cosine of 15 is the square root of 2 plus the square root of 6 over 4. And that's what I'm looking for on those problems. So what I'd expect to see on your paper for a problem of this variety would be where you've translated it from what it is to what it means based on the identity, and then where you actually worked it out. I'd expect to see all that. So you don't have to write down all this stuff every single time. But this is kind of what I'd expect to see on your paper for a problem of this variety.